Hey everybody, Princess Friend here. I've been having some lighting issues, so I have a new light here on my computer, so hopefully that works out here. But a lot of people have been talking about the new Childish Gambino single, This Is America. I feel like I must talk about it as well, and so I decided to do a single spotlight. But it's going to be a little bit longer because I'm also going to talk about some of the imagery that has been talked about in a lot of the other videos that I've seen on YouTube. But I also caught some other things, and I do feel like I might have a different point of view on this because the majority of the videos that I've seen have been people who like newspapers and news articles and stuff like that are on YouTube. And very few of these videos are of black men, which I am one, basically responding to this song that is about black men. Basically, it's Childish Gambino's Lemonade, but for black men instead of black women. It's kind of how I feel about it. I also think that Beyonce's visual albums have been really great. I'm really hoping that Childish Gambino does a visual album. I think that would be amazing. Childish Gambino ended up putting in so much into this video, and not only the video but also the song itself. So let's start there. So here's a clip of the song.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America.
So from the song, you can tell that, like, it kind of does some weird shifts here and there. I know his last album was all, like, 70s, like, Earth, Wind, and Fire and that sort of style of music. So when the song started with the, yeah, go away, like, all that stuff, I was like, okay, he's gonna stick with that style. And then, and then when he goes, it shifts and it goes right into the rapping. I thought that was actually pretty interesting because he had said that he really wasn't going to be doing rapping all that much more. But I did like the mix of the two different styles now because, again, I like him because he does switch up styles. He's not just the same thing over and over again. And I have said on several occasions that he is my second favorite performer after Prince. And it just so happens that, he has a new album coming out soon, and this new single is making waves. So I thought that the shift there was interesting, and I liked the fact that he's going back to rap. And the song itself is, even without the video, you can hear what the song is kind of all about. It's the poppy, we just want to party, we just want for you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like this big flashy, pay attention because we're just going to party and whatnot. And then it goes into the actual This Is America part where he's talking about what it's actually like to be a black man in America. He's using a lot of different references, and I do want to point out some of them because some of them are being highlighted in other videos and other ones are actually kind of being glossed over. So I kind of want to give you my take on these. So first off, I want to go with the entertainer angle. So in the video, it seems like Childish Gambino is saying that basically a lot of the entertainers out there are being used as a tool against the public to make, happy party songs that, that's all that's important and all that stuff, and then basically distracting you from what's actually going on. And it's funny because if you watch Childish Gambino, it's him and he's dancing and he's got black children behind him, which is of course representative of black children replicating the movements and the ideas and the philosophies of these people. The children are basically just being pushed to just replicate everything that they do. There's actually a part in the video where you see that he kind of separates himself from the kids, and then he starts talking about, yeah, I have a gun, don't worry about it, like that sort of thing. And it's kind of funny. I didn't catch that he had separated himself from the children before he started talking about himself having a gun until I think the third or fourth time I watched it, and I've watched it a bunch. The problem here is that, again, they're being used as a distraction. So he's there and he's dancing with kids, but if you don't take a moment to recognize the stuff in the background, there's the horsemen of the apocalypse, there's riots, there's burning cars, there's a person jumping to their death. It's just tons of crazy stuff that, again, you'll miss if you don't watch the video multiple times. And I'll put a link to the video in the description if you haven't seen it, or you just type in "This Is America" into the search bar and you can definitely watch it. The entertainer angle too, and this is a big part of what a lot of people are talking about, is the part where at the very beginning of the video, and at the beginning of the video, he pulls out a gun and he shoots the older black entertainer. He's standing in the position of Jim Crow, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. He doesn't take that stance in everything that he ever does, but he takes that stance very purposefully because that's the stance of Jim Crow. And like, here's a picture of what Jim Crow looks like, so you can see the comparison of their positionings. But he kills the black performer there. At the end of the video, the black performer is there again with the hood over his head that was used when he was killed. And to me, that is that you are a black singer and you are here to entertain us even after you're dead. We own you and you are here to perform for us. That one hit me hard too, a lot of it because of what's going on with Prince and his estate. There's a lot of kind of hands kind of everywhere. Some of them are well-meaning hands and other ones are not. And, you know, there's a lot of different angles there, but like, I'm feeling that a lot more, I think, than maybe people whose favorite performers are, you know, still around, but mine is not. And I'm seeing this play out, and it's kind of scary because it's very true. I would also say that I think it's pretty interesting, the whole entertainer angle is with the fact that he is dancing on top of cars that are basically like old busted hoopties, even though he's singing about get that money, and the whole song is get that money, black man, because again, like, this is a song specifically to black men. If we switch to the gun angle of it, there's actually a bunch of different things that are in here talking about the gun violence issue that we have in America. The first one is how guns are handled in the video versus how people are handled. He actually ends up shooting a gun twice. One, he kills the old black singer at the beginning. He does that with a handgun, and you'll notice that the old black singer is dragged away, and the gun, though, is there's one of the children, which again is that's startling imagery, that one of the children is the one to come and get the gun, but he comes and get it, and it's like a red like silk cloth, and like grabs the gun and handles it with care. And I thought that was really crazy because it basically denotes that we elevate the guns to a position that's higher than the people who are killed by those guns. The second time that he kills actually a choir, and if you look into that choir, they're actually wearing the same colors of the Charleston church that was shot up. You know, he's definitely speaking directly to gun violence in our nation. So these are important things that need to be pointed out. But also, again, in that instance, he shot the gun, killed a bunch of people. Their bodies just laid there. Somebody came and took the gun very nicely and took it away. So there's that. There's also a part in the song where he says, "This is a celly, this is a tool."
This is celly. That's a tool. Yeah.
That line has a double meaning that not a lot of people realize. Because one, yes, it's talking about how a lot of people are using cell phones as tools now to try to stop some of this gun violence. Black people have been complaining about police brutality and gun violence against unarmed black people for decades. Now with the advent of cell phones, everybody's like, whoa, you mean all those black people for decades really weren't lying? Because that's kind of the thing that's hard for people to understand. It's not like unarmed black people being killed by police officers or being pulled over for being black or whatever is a new thing. It's just that now it's in your face and you have to deal with it. But there was also a report of a black man who was killed on his own property by a police officer that thought he was trying to steal his own car. And when he was reaching for his cell phone, the cop killed him because he said, "Oh, I thought he was reaching for his tool to steal the car." That line specifically has a double meaning that, again, a lot of people are kind of glossing over, and I think it's a powerful line, even though that's a celly, that's a tool. Like, it seems like it's such a dumb line, but like, he really did take a lot of time with the lyrics here. The lyrics mean stuff, so you need to pay extra attention to these sorts of things. The last part of the song in the video, so he has murdered somebody with a handgun, and then he did the whole thing there, and then he actually just points his hand without a gun and says "blow," and everybody runs. And I think that's the point that we've gotten to. Now everybody's just scared of the idea of guns, because the guns have been used so much to murder people. And that's why people are saying, we're scared, we want more gun regulation, we want these things to get more under control. And I don't see an issue with that, but obviously a lot of people do. So anyway, I won't get into the whole gun debate, but that is basically where he's going with it. So now let's do the race angle. So I mentioned the Jim Crow thing where he's standing in the positioning that Jim Crow does. After he does fire that gun, the fake gun, he says, blow. The next thing that he does is he pulls out one joint and flicks it on. And it's funny because then it makes me think of the fact that we have a corrupt criminal justice system here in America in a lot of ways towards black people. You know, a white person can get busted for weed and he or she will get community service, whereas a black or brown person will do the same crime and they'll get sentenced to years in prison. And there's a documentary called The 13th, and it was on Netflix when I watched it. I hope it's still there. But go watch it, because it basically is a whole documentary about where we've come from slavery to now, and how there essentially is modern day slavery nowadays. It's really startling, and it made me want to start talking out about these sorts of things. I think it's also important too that the last shot of the entire video and of the song, the last part of the song, is actually one of the most important parts of it, and it's actually the part that not a lot of people are talking about. And there's a reason for that, because in the track itself, the voice is auto-tuned, and it's fading out because it's the end of the song. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's saying black men are just a barcode, you're a big dog in a cage.
You just a black man in this world, you just a barcode, hey. You just a black man in this world, living expensive foreign, hey. Just a big dog, yeah. My Kindle came in a backyard, from a barbarian life to a dog.
Like this, and that's essentially the message of the song. And it's a powerful message because in a lot of ways it's very true, and there are very few people who have been able to break out of that cage, which is again why he's dancing on the hoods of cars that are all busted. He's doing a song and it's all about get that money, and I got 100 grand, contraband, which is of course is a nod to mumble rap and what's going on in that scene there. He's talking about, I have all these drugs, but I'm gonna pull out one single joint because that's what I have. I'm singing about all these other things, but I don't really have it. The regular person doesn't have everything that people are talking about. The last shot in the video too is actually a reference to The Dark Place, from Get Out. But whereas the hero of the film, when he was put into the dark place, he felt alone and dark and isolated and whatnot. Bino is basically saying that by him being chased down and basically about to get lynched by a bunch of white people, that like this is the mentality of most black people. Most black people in the back of their minds feel like they're constantly under attack and feel like they're going to be attacked at any time. We are scared of white people now. I actually posted on my Twitter that I finally had the talk with my daughter. A lot of people were like, yay, that's good parenting, good job. And I was like, I don't know if you realize what the talk is, because as a black family, I have to tell my kids, I have to have the talk about what happens if they interact with a police officer and how they need to behave so that things don't go in the wrong direction. This is not a talk that, other families, white families basically, need to have with their children, but black families do. And a lot of people say, well, why are you bringing race into it? It's because we live race every day. And I really love this song because this song evokes emotion, and it evokes shock and awe and reaction from anybody who watches it, whether you are on this end of the gun spectrum or this side, whether you are white, whether you are black, whether you are brown, whether you are Asian, whether you are rich, whether you are poor. Anybody who watches this video, they feel uncomfortable. And there's a really amazing saying that says, real art comforts the disturbed and disturbs the comfortable. And I feel like Childish Gambino did an amazing job at that with this song and with its accompanying video, and I can't give this any higher grade. It's pretty much a masterpiece, and it's a wonderful piece of art. So what did you guys think of the video? Let me know down in the comments, and I will speak with you another time. May you live to see the dawn. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. To reward yourself, why don't you hit the subscribe button, and make sure to hit that little bell for notifications later on when we come out with awesome new videos. Have a good one.